Hi guys, this is Michael from the Board Games Chronicle. Today I'm bringing to you another great game from GMT Games, which I managed to get and buy and acquire thanks to the GMT sales. Today I would like to talk about Triumph and Tragedy, Europe Balance of Power, a game from 2015 by GMT, already third printing, very popular title, and a really great game for 3 players, which is not so common, not so easy. The designer Craig Besinque created also the sequel to this game, which is called Conquest and Consequence, which I have. And intriguingly, I played first the second game of Craig, and only now will be playing Triumph and Tragedy. The second game tells the story of the Pacific War and struggle during the 3 years before World War II and time of World War II, while the Triumph and Tragedy will focus on Europe. Here we'll have 3 sides. We'll have the West, so US, France, Great Britain. We'll have Axis, so the Germans and Italians, and we'll have the Soviets, so USSR. This is a very intriguing game because you can win it in a couple of ways. You can win it simply militarily if a war breaks out. You can win economically, or you can also win by research of a bomb. So there is no predefined, let's say, path of how to do it. Because the game starts in 1936, there's a couple of years before the actual war might erupt. It doesn't have to erupt. And as all 3 main factions are not so militarized, it will be your decision in which direction actually to develop. Today we'll have a look into the components. How do they look like? What we have? We'll talk a little about the game mechanics, but it will not be our primary focus. I might want to create similar series of materials which I did for Conquest and Consequence, and was explaining how to play with each and every nation. So maybe I will do something similar. So we have a third edition rules, which were already revised a couple of times from 2021. As you can see, the rule book is not overly complex. It's like 20 pages, which is for a war game pretty decent and not too long number. What we have here, we have always core rules here, but we also are getting some additional information at the margins, like it, which shows us some things like how to differentiate the capitals, the spaces, so with some graphical examples. We have information about the units, which nation is actually which units. There will be also neutral units and also the firepower against particular units. In essence, we have fortress, air force, carriers, submarines, fleets, tanks, infantry, and convoys. These are the main forces, and they will be as blocks, so we'll be applying stickers to them. Then we have some information about cards and markers. And the setup sequence of play. Sequence of play will guide you through the new year. You have economic industry phase, and industry will be per each country dependent. Your production on the industrial development, on population, and on the resources. Yeah, so you have some markers with this. Here we have a whole sequence of play. When I'm looking at this, I see a lot of similarities to the Conquest and Consequence. Okay, the diplomacy. We will be using the cards. There's a lot of play with cards here, which can be used for in a couple of ways, as an event, as a diplomacy, as industrial development, and so on and so forth. I like it. You can build the factories, for example. Yeah, technology development, especially the atomic bomb. We will have also, of course, the seasons, description of the movement, description of the combat, one of the most important parts of the game. Let me move server. Then we have rebasing, supply. Yeah, supplies are important. And last but not least, we should have information about war and peace. If you're at peace, you can get a peace dividend, which will give you points. Here they are. You are drawing from the cup the peace dividend. It can be 0, 1, or 2 victory points, and you can really amass a lot of points for the final victory. There is a variant for the 2-player rules. I'd rather play it free, and there's also a short game variant. Okay. Then we have a playbook, and it will tell you a little more about the game. First of all, extended example of play, which really shows you how to play. It shows you where the units are. How do we draw the cards at the start? As you can see, the Western has 8 cards, the Soviet 6, and the Axis 14, so they can amass and build the economy. There's New Year phase, production phase. Axis builds some sets of units here. There is a government phase. Really, really cool game. And then we start to go. Spring, summer, New Year. Yeah, you should get familiar with this definitely. It really, really helps in understanding the game. We will not be spending too much time here. Yeah, it's mainly the example. You can see the USSR attacking Poland. Actually, pretty historical, and Finland in 1939. USSR attacked both Poland and Finland. And I believe that's end of example of play. And the designer notes, something which I recommend always to read. It gives you insight to what the designer wanted to achieve when creating the game, and why some particular decisions were made. Then we can use this full game record sheet to record where we were with the game, industrial, population, resources, production. Yeah, I'm usually not using this, but some people like. These are the stickers for the blocks. German, this is Britain, France, Italy, US. The colors are made in the way that you can use then also the second game, Conquest and Consequence, and put it together. So this is not yellow. The yellow is for the Japanese, if I remember correctly. So USSR. And some additional spare labels. Player rates. Each side has its own player rate. So this is for the Western powers. This is for the Soviets. Everything you need to know. And this is for the Axis. Special Axis rules. Sequence of play, area control table, how do we do the combat, effects of technologies, the minor nations, and of course all base units in the game described. Then we have set of counters, but not too many of them. I believe there is like actual two trays of cards of counters. So this is a peace dividend which you can draw and then get some victory points. A control battle. As I told you, this is not a counter-intensive game. Before we go to the beautiful map, let's have a look still at some other components. So we are getting dice, 4 of them. Yeah, we'll be rolling, but we'll be rolling so much that the probability will not impact the game results. Now we have a lot of blocks. I know, guys, Some of you doesn't like stickering of blocks. I personally like it. That is why I have so many Thomas and Colors games. So you will have here some stickering too of the units, forces, and we will be putting the units like this, and then depending on which side it is, it will have 3, 2, or 1 strength. Then we have the cards, about which I was already discussing. Let me just open them. The cards fuel the game mechanics in area of, as I told you, technology, production, diplomacy also, but it helps in area of atomic bomb, because you can win the game with atomic bomb too. Okay, I've opened already one deck. Let me open both of them. Okay, so a lot of cards, you might say. You will have, sorry. So these are the cards. And you can see this is, for example, a diplomacy card against Spain and Yugoslavia. There is some interesting event cards, or you can do the spring command. Yeah, you can use card also to move your units, and it will tell you how many you can move. For the events, depending which faction is playing the event, there are different effects. So Versal, add one friendly or remove one rival influence markers from one of the neutral nations listed after your faction. So West, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Axis, Austria, Hungary, Turkey, US, Yugoslavia, so USSR. So a lot of cards. Here there will be ones with technologies and science. You need to really well shuffle it. You have also some special cards here with small agent, sabotage, spying, double agent. Then you have a more technology one. And of course, dual use. 1, 2. Before we finish, let's have a quick look at the map. This is a big, beautiful mounted map where all the play will take place. Okay, let me try to do it in a way where you can see the mouse. It would be hard to fit everything into the camera zoom. Okay, we'll need to work a bit on this. So, what do we have here? First of all, it clearly shows you who sits where. As you can see, the axes are here, the West is sitting here, and the USSR is sitting over there. It shows all the theaters of the countries with some subdivisions. These are the tracks which each and every nation is using for production. So also the starting points. Here would be the turn track. Here we would have the legend, so border limits, map keys. Also the turn track, season, spring, summer, blockade, fall, winter, and so on. Here we would have an investment deck. So most probably when I do the video in more details about the gameplay, I will tell you a little more about the details, how and where and what do we have set up. There are some, cool things which shows you, of course, where to put some units at the beginning. Yeah, of course. Okay, so that's the map. Beautiful, sturdy, very, very nicely produced and really nice looking.
of
Okay,
course.
guys, that was very brief discussion of a Triumph and Tragedy, a great game from GMT Games by Craig and Bessingway. Uh, I'm telling you that this is a really title worth investing your time. I played the sequel, I played Conquest and Consequence, and had a lot of fun. I can recommend it definitely because this is very balanced game for 3 players. It's kind of a sandbox game. You start in 1936. You can go economically, you can go militarily, you can go diplomatically, you can research a bomb. So there is a couple of ways to move. I'm definitely going to bring this to the table. I like it very much. Maybe one day even play a combined game of Triumph and Strategy and Conquest and Consequence. Let's see. For now, it was a brief introduction for you guys of this title. I really and truly hope that it was worth watching. If you find this material as interesting, please do not hesitate to give a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or would like to share some thoughts, use the section below this video. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.